Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited. February is moving pretty quickly here, and we're just so excited to be sharing some really cool things about tour strategy today. So how to convert more tours, because enrollment is key to getting your center full. So we're going to talk a little bit about strategy today. And a lot of this stuff's going to be coming from my book called The Art of the Tour. Carol and I wrote this a couple years ago. It's tactics, tips, and tools to increase tours and conversions at your childcare center. We do sell these on childcaregenius.com, and it is on Amazon. So feel free to pick up a copy of The Art of the Tour and get it in the hands of every one of your directors or tour givers at your program. But we're going to talk a little bit about this today because a lot of people that we've met are struggling with enrollment. And the tours are one of the things that it's easiest to mess up. And every time you mess up a tour and don't convert them, it's the same as money just going out the window. And especially somebody you could have gotten. And there are just a couple little minor tweaks a director could make to make tour conversions much easier.
Right.
Excited about that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive in. So in this book, let me get my glasses on here so I could see. And I wrote this book into a bunch of what we call, what do we call these things? We call them tour tactics. And we have 67 of them. 67 tour tactics. And the first chapter is called the sales process. So I'm just going to talk about a couple different things that we have in here. And one of the things is to make your center tour ready. Like, how do you get your center tour ready, honey?
Well, the first thing is you have to look at your center like a parent would look at it and not like you would look at it. Sometimes it's important to have somebody else come in and do a fresh eyes look around so they can see anything that looks out of place. And another thing is let the teachers know that a tour is coming so that they can be prepared if they need to talk to the parent especially.
Yeah, that's very important. And we noticed that it was one of our centers has a lot of wind there. And we noticed that sometimes the parents drop cigarette butts or things blow out of their car when they go in their car, and there's like potato chip bags, cigarette things. They were blowing up against our fence. Yeah. So when people got out to do a tour, all they saw was cigarette butts and things up against our fence. So we made part of our tour process was before each tour, the director went out and checked to see if there's any trash or any cigarette butts in the walkway leading from the parking lot to the front of the room. And it's something like that with, if a prospective parent saw cigarette butts on the way in, that might be what they're going to judge you and not come to your school. All right. So it's the little things that make you or break you. You know, one little leak could sink a big ship, right? Same thing here. It's a little leak. It talks about marketing in the sales process. I talked about marketing research, changing market forces, making sure you have the right tour giver. It's not always the director. A teacher who's good in sales can be the tour giver. It might be the owner.
You don't think of it as sales, but you're selling your center to these people.
It's sales 101, and not everybody is cut out to be a salesperson. I've seen some horrible director salespeople, and I've seen teachers that can sell anything. All right. Yep. Sometimes the owner is the best tour giver, but that's not the best use of their time. But find somebody at the school that's good in sales that can handle rejection, because you're going to have more people say no than you are yes. The best tour giver in the world is only doing 50%. I know I have people tell me I convert 90% of the tours. I call BS on that. Nobody converts 90% of the tour. You only remember the 90%. You forget about the 50% that say no.
Or you're getting the numbers from your director and they're not telling you all the tours.
Ooh, that's a good point too. They're only counting the tours that, they think are good.
Yeah.
So it's all about the math. You should convert about 1 out of 3. A good tour giver is going to do 35 to 40%, which means more people are going to say no than say yes, which means you have to have a tour giver that can handle rejection. They're not afraid when somebody says no. They're going to get their feelings hurt because somebody says no and they're afraid to call them because they might say no. They're the wrong person to do the tour. All right, so the next area is the phone call. That's the first interaction. I know a lot of people are switching to AI for that, but nothing's going to really beat a human answering the phone.
Right.
Having that human contact, and you have to follow a script. It's one of the tour tactics in here is using the same script on everybody and taking notes. And answer the phone. How many times we call centers and they get voicemail?
All the time.
If you're gonna give it voicemail, at least say something like, we're sorry we can't come to the phone. We're giving the children our undivided attention. Like, give the reason why you can't answer that phone, and then at least it helps to justify it a little bit more of why you're not answering the phone. But try to answer the darn phone. And in there, I got a bunch of other things, especially like writing down what they say. If they tell you the kid has a milk allergy on the phone, you better remember that and address that issue on the tour. Like, you need to say, oh, Johnny has a milk allergy. We have this protocol when it comes to allergies, and we never have to worry about them. Like, they know you paid attention and they know you're solving problems and issues. And if you're not listening on the call, you're not helping to solve problems.
The other thing is that on the call, they tell you, it's very important to me that my child has outside time. Make sure you show them the playground.
Right. You have to listen,
right,
and respond.
And that's why you write it down, because you may not remember after the call.
100%. All right. The next is the pre-tour, getting ready for the tour. Always using a tour checklist. Create a welcoming message. That's a good one too, is create a message. Welcome Sally and Johnny to ABC preschool, like in the lobby. I bet nobody else is doing that in your area. Put them on a marquee, put them on a digital billboard, make them feel special.
Yeah.
Clean up your center, prepare your teachers. Have it smelling good. A lot of times you walk into a center, it smells like dirty diapers. Yeah. And we've done that a few times, right?
Yeah.
When doing visits. You want to have some potpourri, you want to have a spray, like something should smell like flowers when you walk in the center, not dirty diapers. Send reminders to the parents, text reminders, automate that process. And because doctors do it, dentists do it, lawyers do it, like everybody does that nowadays. It's a courtesy. They're going to expect a text an hour before confirming their appointment. So make sure you will cut your no-shows down significantly. Yeah. All right, the next chapter is called The Tour. And again, it's the biggest part of this book. There's 22. It's a third of the book is talking about the tour. And I have a bunch of different things from how to dress, make sure you brush your teeth and have good breath, little stupid things like that. Yeah. I've had people give tours and they would about knock me over with their breath. And it's just the little things like that that make people not do enrollment. And it's not, we don't think about. Right. If they ate sushi for lunch or, or had Mexican and a bad Thai meal or something along those lines, or just have salad in their teeth, stuck in their teeth, like, know what you're doing and have an owner or have coworkers that be kind enough to tell you before a tour, hey, do I look okay? Do my breath smell? Do I have a big coffee stain on my shirt?
Did a child just puke on me?
Oh, yes, I've seen it all. Smile during the tour. I have some directors that never, not my personally, but I've seen them when Carol and I are doing site visits, just don't have a smile on their face. Who wants to go to a school with an unhappy director? Like you can sell it. Be sure to offer coffee, tea, water, or snack. We talk about that in the book. Be a great listener. Again, listen to what they say on the phone. Use it back against them when they come on the tour. Listen to what they say. Document it. You know, if you talk about Johnny's likes and dislikes at the beginning of the tour, make sure you remember them and don't ask her again at the end of the tour. Like, know that they care enough
And
to listen.
remember their child's name.
Always remember that. And you get it wrong, and that's it. They're done. And if the child's there on the tour, get on one knee, get down to their level and shake their hand. Like parents love that. And compliment the woman's shoes. That's one thing I've learned, right? Like they love
It
their
depends
shoes.
on what they're wearing. If they're wearing sneakers or
Those are the nicest flip flops I've ever seen. Oh, I love your slippers. Did you forget to put shoes on today? Or their nails? Yes. They got really nice nails. Complimenting those is really nice. Or the car that they drove up in. Like people love to be complimented, and guys do too. You know, Carol and I are always walking when we're on a vacation. She always gets complimented on her shoes. And I'm like, what about my shoes? Don't you like my shoes? I always feel left out. So don't be afraid to compliment the guys. Just be careful you keep it professional. Right? Don't say nice butt. You look really good in those jeans. Inappropriate, right? You got to know what works really well. Make sure you answer all their questions. Never talk bad about the competition. Ever. I don't care how bad they are, because it just doesn't work. It
even
makes you
if
look
they
bad.
bring it up.
Even if they bring it up,
Right.
you say, "Listen, there's a lot of good programs out there. We don't talk." Just say we never talk about our competition.
Yeah.
We know we're the best program in the area, and we don't even look at anybody else. So I'm sorry. Make sure they always leave with swag, something with your company logo name on it, something they're going to remember you by. And make sure you write good notes. Remember these things. So when they do come enroll, you remember the allergy, remember what the kid likes, remember what the parents is like. So that's a lot of the tour process. And everything that I've given you so far gets you 95% of the way there. So picture a football game, right? And you had to start on your own goal line. You got to go 100 yards. I'm getting you all the way down to right by the end zone. You only got a couple yards to go. This is where directors drop the ball so often. They don't follow up. They've done all this work. You spent a lot of money to get the phone to ring. You had the director answer the call. They got the center ready. They pulled the salad out of their teeth. They brushed their teeth. They put deodorant on. They made sure potpourri is on. They cleaned cigarette butts up. Like they've done all this work. They've done the tour. They remember the kids' names. They got that as like they've done so much work. And all of a sudden now they're gonna drop the ball because they don't call the person the next day. And the competitor does, and they go over to Johnny, they go over to BCD preschool instead of ABC preschool, because you didn't call them the next day because you were busy looking at TikTok videos and didn't want somebody to reject you. And that's why you don't call the next day, because you're afraid they're going to tell you no.
Or you think, oh, if they want to come, they'll come.
No, it's mostly they're afraid of no. Or they do it. Or they're going to email them. That's the worst thing to do, guys. Don't email them the next day. Let automated CRM systems email them. But 38% of emails with millennials are not open within a week. So they're not looking at the emails. You can text them, but calling is the most efficient way. Now, you might get the voicemail half the time, but they're going to know you took the time to call them. And the center that calls them, it has a 7 to 10% higher conversion ratio than centers who don't call them the next day. So if you want 10% more enrollments, now it's just 10%. If you do 100 tours a year, you get 10% more enrollments. Those 10 children that you got is going to be worth $150,000 a year of extra enrollments to your program.
Yeah.
Do you think that call the next day for those 100 tours is worth $150,000? Guess what that means? Each tour that you gave, each person that you called was worth $1,500 to you. That's pretty good math. So call the next day. Make sure your directors do. have a protocol that they will call the next day 100% of the time. Always have a special offer that expires tomorrow when you leave the office, or they're not going to enroll as part of the tour process. And always keep track of your tours. Like, have a scorecard that keeps track of how many tours you're doing and how many you convert. So know what your numbers are and track that over time. So at the end of the year, you can say we did 224 tours this year. We converted 68. Our tour conversion percentage is 32%. And you track that year to year, and you track it by tour givers. So you know that Sally's better than Joni, and by 10% more, then you want Joni's doing more tours. So, all right. Then we talk about some other things to get business called outside sales. To get that, and then we give you some additional resources in the book. So this is the art of the tour, and like I said, there are 67 tour tactics in here. I only covered maybe 10 of them on this conversation because I want you to buy the book. All right, and remember, 100% of all the profits of this book and all the books that we own go to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Or the Wounded Warrior Project, because Carol and I are both veterans, so we send the profits there. So we don't make anything off this. So I'm not promoting it just so I can get myself a condo on the beach in the Gulf, because I already have that. Okay, so we're gonna get this book to help some veterans out. And I think it's $7.99, I think, on our website, and maybe $9.99 on Amazon. I don't even know how much you sell it for. If you want to give an extra donation of $100, just hit me up and I'll get it to the Veterans Organization. But anyway, The Art of the Tour, written by Brian and Carol, it'll change your director's trajectory. You'll enroll many more children. People that follow this book, I'm telling you, all of our clients that we coach are enrollment machines who read this book and follow it. You could read it, and if you don't implement it, then this becomes an expensive paperweight that collects dust on the shelf. So The Art of the Tour, again, it's on Amazon, and I hope this changes the trajectory of your business. And if you're not full with a wait list, every director needs to read it. And if you read it before and they're not implementing it, and as an owner, you need to be auditing your people to make sure they're following scripts and tour checklists, and call the next day if they're not, do some corrective training and get them on the right path. If you're not full with a wait list, you might want to look in the mirror and see what you're doing wrong. And if we can help you at Child Care Genius, please reach out. We have a free coaching call offer. Once a year, you get on one of our coaches and have a free coaching call. We'll help guide you. We'll help bring you towards some of that strategy and make you a more productive and profitable owner. Just go to childcaregenius.com. Under the coaching tab, and select that like a free coaching call. We'd be happy to help you out with that. All right, that concludes this episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to spend some time with us.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.